In this video, I would like to share with you some ideas that might come in handy if you ever have to write a film review or even a theatre review. I'll provide you with just an idea of a potential assignment you'd have to write on. Then I'll give you a writing frame, somehow the structure that you could follow if you wanted to write one of these reviews. And finally, I'll share with you what we call waggles, what good ones look like. I'm sharing with you some real reviews of films such as Mary Poppins Returns, Marriage Story, Onward, and Belfast, and I've highlighted the strong points of these reviews or the reasons why these reviews might help you to write your own reviews. If you were asked to write a review, possibly it could be task 2, the longer writing task. So probably you would have to write between 200 and 250 words. And this is just one possible assignment you'd have to write on. It's sometimes hard to choose a film that fits your mood purely on the basis of a poster or the description on the cover of a DVD or the description on the streaming service. That's why we want to publish reviews written by our readers rather than our professional reviewers. This is one of the key things. You're not expected to be a professional reviewer. You are just somebody who likes cinema and who's going to write a review based on their knowledge and expertise, but it's not at a professional level. So we'd like to invite reviews written by our readers so that others can know from first-hand experience what to watch and what to avoid. Send in a review which describes your views. So that's the first thing you need to do. Describes your views on a film that somehow made an impact on you. Make sure you give reasons for your arguments in an organized way and using vocabulary related to the field of cinema. In terms of organization, the structure of your review, it's very easy to follow the structure because it tends to be always the same. You start, as can be expected, with an introduction, giving facts and background information, factual information about the film, such as the title, the name of main actors and actresses, the name of a director, and maybe at that point you can perhaps mention previous films by this director or those actors, the genre, the setting, where the plot takes place in time and place. You might compare it with similar films, and you might also include adjectives at this point hinting at whether you liked the film or not. Don't say it out just bluntly, don't say it straight, but you might drop hints, you might give slight indications with your adjectives whether you like it or not. That could be the first paragraph. And then you might have 1 or 2 paragraphs, probably 2, but this would be the body of your review. Your second paragraph, the first paragraph of the main body, would be the summary, the plot summary. Please don't include any spoilers, just very basic information, and don't tell the whole plot, just enough for the reader to know what it is about. So basic information, basic plot summary. And then the second body paragraph, the third in your writing task, could be, this is the specialized bit, where you include general comments and opinions, maybe on acting, the soundtrack, the photography, the setting and costumes, special effects if there are any, or any other relevant features. So as I said, this is more specialized. It has to do more with cinematography and performance. Finally, please include a conclusion, including a recommendation and the reasons why you recommend a film or why you're discouraging people from watching it. That's another possibility. Okay? The kind of language you should be using to write your review. Number one, try to include as detailed information as you can in terms of a genre. Don't just say comedy. Try and say a romantic comedy or a gross out comedy or a slapstick comedy. So if you remember the vocabulary on genres we've been working on, that might be really helpful. I'm going to give you another video with lots of vocabulary coming from billboards and posters, from real contexts, from the West End of London, which has lots of theatres. So you will have lots of, especially adjectives, very relevant adjectives to describe how wonderful it is, how amazing, how astonishing, etc. They tend to be really positive adjectives, I have to say. But anyway, these are going to give you a real context of use for those particular adjectives, and they tend to be the kind of adjectives reviewers use. I'm also going to give you some guidelines with some language on writing a film review. That will be a PDF file, so please have a look as well. This is the link to the presentation with those positive adjectives I was just mentioning. So these are just my own photographs of theatres around London. And this is the PDF file with structure and language, sample language you can use to write your reviews. It doesn't mean that you have to just copy it, but it might give you just some inspiration probably. Finally, I'm also going to share with you what we call waggles, what a good one looks like. This is, for example, a review of a film, Mary Poppins Returns. And what I've done, so you have a document here, I have highlighted interesting vocabulary or expressions or just parts of the review. So this is a thing link. So you will be able to open it. So when you open it, it's an interactive document. It's an interactive poster. So you will be able to click here and you will have information. This will be basically about the structure. So have a look at how this real review is structured with some information here. And then if you click here on the actual thing link, you will hear my voice comments saying why this is okay, why I like this, or what the review is doing here or here. Again, to try and guide you through writing your review. Another example will be with this review of Onward, which was released quite recently. Again, it's another thing link, so you will have some information about the structure here. When you see the icon of a book, it means that you have a dictionary definition in case you need it. And then when you see a microphone, it means this is my voice comment. My advice, as always, is for you to write a draft version of your review, obviously, before you do it. Just brainstorm some ideas. So think of a film you would like to review, and then think of what you would use in the introduction, what you would say in your body paragraph, the plot summary. As I said, short, plot summary, short. Then what you're going to say in your body paragraph or paragraphs with some remarkable features, cinematography, performances, soundtrack, etc. And make comments on the reasons whether you like it or dislike it, and then the conclusion. When you're coming up with this draft version, remember to include language which is going to make the reader go, wow, that is good. So make notes not just on the ideas you want to say, but also the kind of language you can and are going to use, okay? And of course, as with any writing task, we're always suggesting that you should perhaps have a look at how natural your collocations sound. So you can use some of these collocation dictionaries to check whether what you're saying sounds natural or not. And again, as always, some tips on how to improve your writing tasks. I can't stress it enough. Remember to be organized and to use proper linking words. And then wow expressions. When you finish, proofread it for mistakes. Okay? And then try and see if the general impression you're giving, if in general your review sounds not just correct, but also, if you get the tone right. I would say a review is rather formal, not terribly formal, but it is more formal. Try to avoid, informal expressions. Of course, avoid contractions. Okay, so it's, as I say, you're not expected to write a professional review, but it should sound at least, somehow specialized.